simple syrup. We're going to make a beautiful Coco Lopez coconut simple syrup to go on the coconut sponge cake that we're going to fill with lemon curd. Coconut and lemon are such a wonderful combination. So I took my sugar and my water. Simple syrup is equal parts sugar and water. I boil them for 5 minutes. That's just my 4 or 5 minutes right in there. We have some Coco Lopez. Coco Lopez is a beautiful product, and what it was originally made for is for beautiful coconut daiquiris. I like it. It imparts a beautiful coconut flavor. And so while my simple syrup is warm, I'm going to add that mise en place of Coco Lopez. It's going to take a little while to kind of melt into it. I'm going to set this aside and let it cool down and get ready to put my cakes together. We're going to start assembling our lemon coconut cakes. We've made beautiful coconut sponge. We have lemon curd, we have coconut simple syrup, and we have lemon Swiss meringue buttercream. We're going to put all that together and make a beautiful cake. First step is getting the cakes out of the cake pans. I have a paring knife, and I'm going to run it around the edges, which will pop the cake right out. It's got parchment paper on the bottom. Remember to remove that parchment paper, and then we're going to set those aside, and I'm going to show you how we're going to trim those, and that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to put this cake away, and by the magic of television, I have 2 cakes right here, all done for me. Thank you, Chef Steven. So I like to cut cake on a piece of parchment paper because I want to get rid of all the crumbs. I don't want them left on my bench. And that's kind of primary in cake decorating, is not having any crumbs in your buttercream or in anything you finish. So I have a serrated knife. I always use serrated, and I have my cakes. And what I want to do is I want to take the tops of my cake off, and all I want to do is very lightly. And how to cut a cake is I'm going to hold my blade very flat, and I'm always going to keep my hand on top. I'm not going to put my hand on the side. I'm going to keep it on top, and I'm going to slice the cake, and I'm going to let the turntable do the work for me, right? And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to allow it to cut through very gently, and then when I finally realize I'm at the middle, I'm going to finish it off. And let me show you. So I'm going to come in here, and I'm going to turn, and my hand is on top. Super important. I'm just taking off this top layer. I don't want that to be part of my cake, and I'm just turning the cake all the way through. And if some of my crumbs drop off, I'm okay with that, because what I want to be able to do, and I don't want to take a lot of cake off, I just want to even it up. And I don't want this brown part to be part of my cake at all. And I'm going to come here where I finished. I'm going to pull all this off and drop it off to the side. Sometimes this little part will roll off for you, which I like very much. See, it comes right off, especially when I'm getting all these little snacks off of there. And there I've just trimmed the top real lightly. I'm going to do the same thing to the next one. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to have my knife. And I have a little bit of an indentation. I'm going to come in and I'm going to use my knife to trim this edge. And my hand is always on top. I never want to grab here because I never want to push the knife across. I turn the turntable with my hand each time, as you can see, and I'm coming in and cutting it in a sawing motion, very gently, taking the top of that cake in the corner and evening it up, and I meet where I started. And it pulls it right off, and I have some of the rest of the top of the cake I'm going to pull off, and that's perfect for having that cake cut. And next we're going to syrup them and start putting them together.